dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, it's 5:31. I'm Will Puckett.
And I'm Cassidy Strickland. Hope your Tuesday is off to a great start. If you're enjoying those milder temperatures, you kind of have another day to enjoy them for the most part.
Yeah, you better soak it in today because the rest of this week, as Brandon told us earlier, it's going to go all come crashing down. So let's bring Brandon in at this point. And Brandon, we're seeing our lowest temperature is actually pretty warm right now, and we should get up to a manageable temp today. What are we looking at, bud?
Listen, I tell you, right now, it's basically about 15 degrees above average for this time of the year, close to it in some locations, and that's our morning low. We're getting a little bit closer to it, get down to about 55 eventually, but let's take a look at the camera network first, and I'll show you some temperatures and current conditions. Outside Buffalo Mountain there, up near the transmitter here in Perry County, things are pretty quiet. No fog. We're not seeing any of that this morning, UVA-wise. A quiet night over that way. You can see the breeze there, though, blowing the trees over the last few hours, tops of them anyway, and it's going to be a breezy day on tap for us. Line pinpoint Doppler radar, clean sweeps across the board. Could you see a straight chance for a shower this morning? It's possible, but I do think main story is cloudy skies as we head through the first part of your day. Temperatures, the coolest spot in the region is Wise at 52 degrees. Prestonsburg is sitting close to 60 this morning, so is Louisville, and a lot of spots right there in the mid to upper 50s across the region. Even Indianapolis is at 53 this morning. Pittsburgh at 50, Myrtle Beach at 51. Indianapolis is warmer than Myrtle Beach. Hazard is warmer than Myrtle Beach this morning, 59 in Nashville and in Memphis. The forecast today, 60. It's going to be a slow climb there, and scattered chances for rain early give way to sun late. A breezy day on tap with winds gusting as high as 25 miles per hour at times. It's not going to last. The cold is coming. I'll talk more about it coming up in a few minutes.
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Leading our 5:30 half hour, the partial government shutdown is now in its 18th day, making it the second longest in history. President Trump will give his first primetime Oval Office address tonight. He will argue his case to the American people for a wall at the U.S.-Mexico border. It is an issue President Trump has been making since the day he announced he was running for president in 2015. However, he remains deadlocked with congressional Democrats over his demand for $5 billion to fund that border wall. Democrats say they will offer rebuttal immediately following his speech.
I expect the president to lie to the American people. Why do I expect this? Because he has been lying to the American people.
White House Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney says if an agreement is not reached by midnight tonight, about 800,000 federal workers will miss this week's paycheck. It has caused concern that employees, especially TSA agents, will start calling out sick at even higher rates.
Well, as we mentioned, the shutdown is in its third week now, and with tax season coming up, people were worried the IRS would delay sending refunds.
The acting director of the White House Budget Office says customary rules will be changed to make funding available to pay them. So the good news is tax refunds will go out on time during the partial government shutdown.
That's good to know. A lot of people were certainly worried about that. Well, the shutdown has also caused the Justice Department to ask a federal judge for an extension of a filing deadline in an Obamacare case. However, the filing is unlikely to delay the case by much. Last month, the federal district judge in Texas issued an opinion declaring the health care law's individual mandate unconstitutional. Then last week, Democrats in the House moved to intervene in an ongoing lawsuit to defend Obamacare. The law remains in effect pending appeal.
Lawmakers in Kentucky face a tough task to pass pension reform following a short-lived special session last month. And it all begins later today with the 2019 General Assembly. Both the House and Senate will gavel in at noon. The new session comes after the Kentucky Supreme Court ruled the previous pension bill unconstitutional. Speaker-designate David Osborne says some Republicans want to stick with Senate Bill 151 and repass it. Others may go a completely different direction.
Now, last night, Governor Bevin looked ahead to the start of the 2019 General Assembly. He appeared on KET's Kentucky Tonight. Most of the conversation focused on the pension issue and the failed special session. Governor Bevin saying it was a lack of will that ended that called session.
To me, it's concerning that the very people who passed a bill earlier that year didn't have what it took to do the very same thing again, or even a lesser version of it. But it is imperative that they do so, because the cost to our universities, the cost to our some of these health organizations around the state, they cannot afford to meet their pension obligations.
Other leaders out of the State House and Senate were on Kentucky tonight. They also weighed in on the pension system and tackling the issue in this new legislative session.
We've had discussions about how we move forward, and this is a short session, and we've dealt with some pretty serious issues, some very serious issues over in a short session period. But I think we can get to the point that if we don't get a pension bill, that we'll be very close.
But we don't know. Now, we will, of course, be following day one of the 2019 General Assembly throughout the day today.
Well, former state auditor Adam Edelen announced that he will be among the list of candidates hoping to unseat Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin. He made his campaign announcement in Lexington yesterday, also announcing a running mate in Gil Holland. Edelen is known for updating a part of downtown Louisville known as New Lou. He says he wants to build a modern Kentucky. Edelen joins a crowded field of Democrats. Attorney General Andy Beshear, House Minority Leader Rocky Atkins, and Jeff Young of Lexington are also running on the Democratic side.
Another name is likely to be added to the Republican primary. Laurel County Representative Robert Goforth says he will make an announcement about his political future today. Now, yesterday, a website announcing his bid was published. It has since been taken down. It's expected that Goforth's running mate will be Michael Hogan from Lawrence County.
Well, in national news this morning, an accident has claimed the life of a probationary New York firefighter. Stephen Pollard had been with his department for less than 2 years. Officials say he dropped through a gap in the Belt Parkway in Brooklyn and fell 52 feet. In a statement, the FDNY commissioner called it a terrible loss. Pollard's brother is also a firefighter, and his father is a retired firefighter.
Well, back here in Kentucky once again, parents are livid after security footage showed a teacher dragging a 9-year-old boy with autism down a hallway. The parents say the boy suffered a sprained wrist. Now, Kentucky State Police investigated, and that teacher is expected to be charged. The superintendent says the woman in that video no longer teaches at that school. Andrew Colgrove has reaction from the furious parents who say that their son deserves justice.
The parents say there's no excuse for their son to be treated this way, and they want to try to make sure this is not allowed to happen again.
It breaks my heart for him because he does try so hard to fit in.
Angel Nelson and her family just moved to Wurtland October 1st. Her son Alan has autism and other disabilities.
He's trying to adapt, make friends.
Angel got a call from Wurtland Elementary October 24th that her son had been involved in an incident.
He had an outburst and they were trying to remove him from the classroom, but she restrained him the wrong way and it was 100% preventable.
Surveillance video subpoenaed by the family's lawyer shows a teacher dragging the 9-year-old up and down the hallway by his wrists.
I was in shock and I was very traumatized. For this to happen in front of all of his classmates, it's just something no mother wants to hear.
Angel says her son told her the teacher also roughly threw him into a chair in the classroom. That moment was not recorded, Angel says, because the camera was turned away facing a corner.
What else has she done that we don't know about?
The family says the woman in the video was in charge of the special needs program at the school.
This was the same lady that looked us straight in the eye and said, listen, your son is safe with me. I've got several years experience. He's safe.
He's been having nightmares.
The superintendent says that woman no longer teaches at the school.
I did not want my son to go back while she was still working there.
The stepfather says losing her job is not enough.
She did abuse a child, and I think anybody that does that to a child should go to jail.
And I never want this to happen to another child, ever.
That teacher is expected to be arraigned Wednesday morning at the Greenup County Courthouse. I'm told she'll be charged with 4th-degree assault. Back to you.
The Greenup County School Superintendent says she reported the incident to the Kentucky Education Standards Board, who determines whether a teacher keeps their teaching certificates.
The Letcher County Sheriff's Office is reporting a phone scam happening in the area. They say someone is making calls to homes claiming you have won money in another state. The Sheriff's Office is urging people to not give out any personal information over the phone. Well, the crisis phase of the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, also known as LIHEAP, has begun. The program helps some Kentucky families stay warm this winter. Anyone at or below 130% of the federal poverty guideline are eligible. Applicants must provide a disconnection notice from their utility company or be within 4 days of running out of fuel to qualify.
Well, straight ahead on Mountain News this morning, we take a look at the life and legacy of a Harlan County teacher who lost his battle with cancer this weekend.
If you have a bear-sized sweet tooth, then you're going to want to get out of hibernation for these. Yes, they're that good.
If you're like Will and love the cold and snow, we have a chance to see both in the next few days. I'll break it all down for you in about 2.5 minutes.